All right, welcome back. This video we will get the shots working, and so hopefully we can explode this asteroid, break it into two medium-sized ones, and then shoot the medium-sized one, break them into two smaller ones, and then eventually make them all disappear. So what we're going to do is go back to the code again and start to add a little bit more here. So we're going to come down, and I'll probably just do it under the wrap one here. So remember we had made that smaller just by clicking on, there was a little negative button and a positive button. So if I open that up again, now I'm sort of below the wrap function. Okay, and I'm just going to close that up because it just make things a little bit easier to see here. So maybe I'll just get rid of that too. Okay, so I'm going to create a new function, something that we're all familiar with, are on trigger enter, 2D, and collision, and so on. So couple things. First off, what we're going to do is we're going to destroy the bullet, right? So we're going to destroy the collision.game object. Game object, there we go. Right, so we get rid of the bullet. Now we don't want to destroy the asteroid quite yet because we need that asteroid to do a few things. And so this here is kind of the idea of a switch statement as well. And in fact, this one we'll use it properly. I'm still a little bit undecided about what we'll do with the start switch statement as well, because I might switch that up. Speaking of switches. Okay, so switch. Again with asteroid stage. And this will help us sort of see exactly what's going on. So again, we'll start with case 3. So what we want to do in case 3 is, now we're going to access the game manager, and the game manager might actually deal with the sound as well. But we're going to do game manager add, add score. Okay, ignore that typo. What we need to do is get two sort of game objects, and I'm going to call them asteroid1, and we're going to instantiate. We could probably put this into a loop, but I think we're just doing it twice, so it's fine. We're going to instantiate, we're going to instantiate asteroid, and remember we had these names here, asteroid M. So we're going to instantiate asteroid M, and we're going to instantiate it in the same transform.position and with the same rotation. We're going to modify this a little bit in a second, but you'll see it's transform.rotation. Okay, so the idea here is that we create asteroid 1 that has got a certain position, okay, which is the same as wherever this collision occurred, which makes sense because those two asteroids will exist in the same spot. So I'm going to make asteroid 1 and asteroid 2. Okay. So there are our two asteroids, okay? So we're going to instantiate these two asteroids. Now, what my little issue is that I have to break them apart, and they have to be kind of moving in the similar direction, but maybe a little bit faster, and maybe with a little bit of a different angle. They can't be identical, or else they'd be right on top of each other. So what I did is I grabbed... So I did a vector 2 here. I grabbed the velocity. So I said the current velocity. And I put an L for the large one. And so what I basically did was I got the component. And I guess I don't have to because I've already got that. I'm just thinking here. Well, let me just do it this way, just to make sure it won't cause too much. Grab the rigid body. I'm thinking I've already got this accessed above, so I might not need it, but I'll just do it this way. So I'm going to grab that rigid body, and then what I'm going to do is grab the velocity. Okay, so I've grabbed that current velocity. So now I've got that stored in my memory. What I'm going to do with it is I'm going to affect asteroid 1 and asteroid 2 and get them to change their velocity a little bit based on that current velocity. So what I'm going to do is, let's just do asteroid 1 first. Okay, asteroid 1 dot, I'm going to get the component. Okay, and the ridge body. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change its velocity, and I'm going to use that other velocity here. So I'm going to do a new vector 2 based on, so the current velocity dot x, so the current velocity of the large one, and I'm just going to times it by, and again, I used a bit of a random range. So I did random dot range, and this one, what I wanted to make sure is I didn't stop it, so I don't want to multiply it by 0. So I said 0.1f, 2, and I did roughly 2f. Okay, so I'm just going to move this over a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. And then I have to basically do the same for the y. So I'm going to, just to make things easier, I'm going to copy this and paste it here. And just make sure that this is the y value. Okay. So I know that's really quite long there. Hopefully there's no errors. Okay, so what it does is it takes asteroid 1, it grabs its velocity, we're going to modify its velocity to a new velocity based on the old velocity, and we change it a little bit. So we might slow it down or we might double it. Okay, and we do that for x and y, therefore it's going to be moving in a slightly different direction as well. What I'm going to do is copy this whole thing and paste it. And the only thing I need to change is that this is going to be asteroid 2. So it should break apart and then, you know, into those two, and then, you know, move slightly differently. Okay, so those two are done. So we've got our 2 asteroids created. We've grabbed the current large asteroid's velocity. We've modified these asteroids' velocities. And then what we have to do is basically get rid of the game object, right? Which would be that large asteroid in this case. So I'm going to destroy game object. And I have to be very, very careful that I have done that before, right? I have to make sure that I've done that, done all this stuff before I destroy that game object, or none of this would occur. Now I'm just going to leave this here for the moment because we want to double check that that's working okay. So I'm going to save that. So let's take a look at this and see what's going on, if it's working reasonably well. Oh, one thing that I didn't do, I skipped a step here. Let me just, before I do that, sorry, I forgot. So we have to sort of wrap this in an if, right? We want to make sure that it's colliding with the shot. So sorry, so if collision, right? So the object dot game object dot tag, or sorry, so collision dot compare tag, whereas is shot, then all of this will happen. So just make sure. Let me just pull this one down. That's better. Okay, sorry. So let me just bring this down. If collision. Okay, there we go. And then let's just make sure. There we go. Okay, so just to fix that up there. So basically, right, we've got the on trigger enter. If collision dot compare tag is shot, right, then it will destroy the shot. Okay. And then it will go into this switch situation. So at the moment, the asteroid stage should be 3. And we're going to have to do something with adding score. We're going to create 2 asteroids. We're going to get the velocity of the current large asteroid, so the parent asteroid compared to the children asteroids. And then based on that velocity, we're going to modify these asteroids' velocities and give them a velocity that's similar, but slightly different than the original one. And then we're going to destroy that large one. And this all happens all so quickly that it basically, happens at the same time there. And we'll have to deal with the other cases as well, but at least we got the first case in. So let me save that up. Go back to Unity. Two things I'm going to make sure is in my prefabs that the shot is tagged shot, so it's untagged. I'm going to add a tag. Go back, don't forget to do that. So it's going to be shot is tagged. Okay, good. So those should make them all tagged there. And on the asteroid large, make sure at least you put that asteroid M in there. Okay, because we need that to make sure that the well, at least this not the sound, but the the new asteroids are recreated here. So let's hit play. So it moves around. That's good. And a little slow on my turn, but it breaks apart. And of course, these two don't get shot. But there you can see we had two asteroids instantiated, okay, and then moving away. So try that again. So again, a little bit faster this time. It will reappear there. Okay, so it breaks. So one was a little bit faster than the other. Now, and of course they don't hit. Oh, where did the other one go? That was interesting. Oh, you know what? Because these ones don't have the script on it, they're just moving away. So yeah, we have to actually put the script on the medium one as well. So we'll deal with that a little bit. Let's just see here how we're doing for time. Yeah, I think we'll leave that here. And the next one we'll get the smaller asteroids working, and then maybe get the game manager as well there.